Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Perspective. We'll be talking about the political situation as it stands as far as parties are concerned. We're looking at a lot of back and forth movement. We saw as far as mass resignations from the PTI during the last fortnight or so. We've also now seen move towards new political parties. The rumors are strife all around, but what is the reality? What do we expect in the next couple of weeks as far as formulation of new parties and electables joining different parties have been in progress? What will this mean for the political scene as far as Pakistan is concerned? We'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about, of course, the cases that are in process against PTI and its members. We will also be talking about what happened on May 9th and the investigations that are still in progress and law taking its course there. All of that today on Perspective. I have with me today Agha Ikrar Haroon, who's a political analyst. Thank you for joining us today. We also have with us Kaisar Ahmed Sheikh, who's Chairman Standing Committee for Finance. He's an MNA with PMLN. Thank you for being with us. And we have with us Ali Rashid from the PPP. Thank you for joining us. Ji, Agha Sahab, like I said, of course, we've been seeing a lot of movement as far as, Jahangir Tareen Sahab is concerned, his past being an active member, joinings taking place, movement from one political party to another, people changing course, so to speak. Do you think these are significant? Do you think they're going to have a lot to do with the changing political scene in the next couple of weeks?
Look, everything is being planned for next elections actually. And definitely we are going through another transition. I had experience, with reference to Pakistan People's Party and PMLN, and then we saw PMLQ came up of that, and Patriot came of Pakistan People's Party. This is very normal in Pakistan. Whenever the party is in a problem, so it disintegrates. But this is the reality of Pakistan. But the case in PTI is a little different. Majority of PTI leaders, they today now believe as a party they can move, they can serve people, but what the position or you can say a kind of state of affair their chairman had and the result we had seen on May 9th, which was a politics of reaction and politics of vandalism actually.
Vandalism is the best word. We've seen a video that's been going viral of a member of the PTI and the petrol bomb that is being used. That is one of that's a horrendous example of the kind of events that happened, unfolded on May 9th. And that has also resulted in a lot of political leaders saying that they don't want to be a part of politics at this time. Yes,
this is what I am telling. They don't have any face to go to people. Whatever has been done by the party on the instruction of the chairman, and normal man cannot have a face to go to the voters and say, okay, look, I am again here asking you something better for Pakistan, something new for Pakistan.
But these people will, in your opinion, do you think that these people will invariably join other political parties?
Somehow or other, electable would do, because they cannot survive without joining any political party for a long.
Because this is constituency politics, they expect to still be able to get votes.
Yes, but some of them may go for philanthropist activities if they are not seasonal politicians.
Let me come back to Agha Sahab. We have with us Kaisar Sahab also. Ji, Kaisar Sahab, we're talking about the way that we've seen, there have been mass resignations. There's also a lot of rumors as far as joinings are concerned. Not only rumors, we've seen, a lot of politicians join, meet up with, so to speak, Jahangir Tareen Sahab also. Do you think, what do you expect now, in your opinion, as far as these, these politicians and, these meetings are concerned? There are, of course, a lot of rumors that there will be perhaps a new political party, a new direction, so to speak. What do you expect?
Yes, Marukh, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Your question in present scenario is very important. You see, PTI, what they did on the instructions of their chairman, it was a mess on 9th May. People never expected things like that to attack the military installations and even other private and government buildings and ambulances and all that. So it was miserable, and people are not in a position to face this scenario. They are resigning from their position, and they are resigning from even fully from the politics because they are ashamed of their doings. I feel that this is not the political process, and nobody could expect. I have never seen in democratic history of the world. For example, there has not been any precedent in India like that, or in the UK, which is the main power of parliamentary party, parliamentary politics. And then again in US there is a presidential election, and never things like this have been witnessed. You see, recently there was a attack on in Capitol Hill, and then they analyzed those who attacked. But this sort of planned attack on military and defense installations, and particularly all those in all those cities at a time. It was not that there was a spontaneous reaction. It was a planned, and it was ordered and planned by their chairman. So you see, the
Yes,
people are
do you
not
think,
now.
in your experience, we've seen a lot of, politicians from the South also, as far as South Punjab is concerned, join, and there are meetings, of course, at this time, as far as Jahangir Tareen Saab is concerned. Do you expect there to be another party in the making? Do you expect there to be, perhaps movement, political movement? Certainly, there's no secret that things are starting to head in that direction.
I know many politicians from the South Punjab. They are now having consultations and having meetings, and Mr. Jahangir Tareen is also active to have consultation for a new party. But until now, it has not been decided. It will take more time. There will be more discussions and consultations. You see, people who are leaving PTI, they didn't have any choice to come to PMLN, because we ourselves, our party, particularly in Punjab, we have many candidates with us. Even in one constituency, we have more than one electable candidates. So there is very little room that those electables who leave PTI, they can join a party like PMLN. So there is opportunity to join People Party, and there is another ample opportunity to have a new party. So near the elections, elections are already announced by Election Commission on 8th of October. So it is about 4 months only the elections are due to be held, and this is the time that some new political party is in existence, in offing, I feel. And I feel that more and more discussions in the next...
As far as the PPP is concerned. Ali, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Ali, what about the PPP? Like Kaisar Saab is saying, he's saying that, the PMLN doesn't have space, but we've seen former President Asif Ali Zardari Saab meet with a lot of people. There have been a lot of joinings there also. Do you expect that, do you expect conclusive headway perhaps in the South Punjab, particularly as far as the PPP is concerned?
Absolutely. We feel any politician who has been we feel that anybody, no matter which party they were part of, if they are clean and they don't have anything which incriminates them and they want to switch and come to PPP with a good intention, they're most welcome. That's how it works, right? Even Quaid-e-Azam was part of Congress before he shifted to Muslim League later on. So that's a choice which it's their right, and they can practice it. And yes, we are in talks with a lot of former MNAs and MPAs who are interested in joining PPP, but we are screening and vetting. I mean, obviously, we will not take anybody and everybody, but if we feel that some people are there are good and bad people everywhere. So I'm sure there were good politicians in PTI, and if we feel they are, sincere to Pakistan, like we believe they are, if they're actually leaving the party and PTI because of what transpired, and they've actually realized that their leadership, their intentions were not genuine, or they were not very patriotic, and they want to leave PTI and join another party, then our doors are open for them, and we are definitely in talks with a lot of them.
Right, Ali, let me come back to you. Agha Sahab, do you think it's going to be, what shape do you think this will take? Because we are looking at Zardari Sahab also target particularly South, and I think we've spoken about this before also.
Yes, in your show.
Yes, and then and also as far as Jahangir Tareen Sahab is concerned, that region is again becoming his focal point. Am I right?
You are absolutely right. And
what do you think will happen?
If you remember, we had a long discussion and we had expectation that is not true.
Yes.
Look, this South Punjab has two major issues. First is, you can say, the delegation of power.
Okay.
This is a very long issue. They had been asking it, they should have been little independent, and they had been asking or demanding a separate province, which is unfortunately was not possible. So they were, you can say, they accepted so-called the delegation of administrative powers to Bahawalpur area, but it didn't work. And the previous government had a very lofty promises with them, but unfortunately, as usual, not a single one was transferred. So even this so-called transfer of power, administrative power, was not properly done.
Do you think that might still, that might still be a possibility if we look at it as another province, or that might pick up again, in your opinion?
Yes, Baruch, I am personally in favor of making small provinces like Hazara should have been a separate province, and this South Punjab should have been, because not only because of their ethnic divisions, or what you call the differences, not actually not difference in the negative meanings, but in a historical perspective.
But there's also an issue of resources.
It's a resources. No, resources, usually you can generate resources.
Okay.
Once you decide politically and administratively, then resources may not be a big issue. The problem, just imagine you are living in a Bahawalpur or in Rajanpur, and you have some problem with the education department, you will have to come to Lahore Secretariat, first of all. Secondly, you feel you are not in a mainstream of power. So it can be done. And I can tell you my feelings. Pakistan People's Party and even the PMLN would offer them very soon. Okay, after next election, we will go for you can say a kind of arrangement for your power distribution.
Maybe another secretariat,
this is one issue,
which was perhaps even agreed on, isn't it true? And then it never happened as far as a separate secretariat.
Yes, it never happened, but again parties would promise them. Different parties, Pakistan People's Party, PMLN. This is the one issue. And second issue is that is electable. This is a kind of you can say a landlord kind of a mindset over there. So they are electable. They had been moving around from different party to different parties since 71. In 71, they had jolted from Pakistan People's Party.
Isn't it true? I mean, let's call a spade a spade. As far as Jahangir Khan Tareen is concerned, or if we look at what the former President Asif Ali Zardari, they are probably going to be looking at landscape where they can amass as much seats as possible. So whatever they bring to the table, these people, that's what's going to matter to them. How many seats, right?
Yes.
So how many seats will they bring from the south, and how much clout they have within the area, whatever they can achieve in that quarter, right?
You are absolutely right. And if we call spade a spade, I believe later or sooner Jahangir Tareen Saab can go to Pakistan People's Party for an alliance, because Jahangir Tareen cannot alliance with Pakistan Muslim League, that is, I am very confident. So Pakistan People's Party and Jahangir Tareen so-called group can merge an alliance over there later or sooner, provided what Pakistan People's Party want to achieve.
You're saying that is an alliance that is possible?
Yes, this is possible.
Let me ask Kaisar Saab about this. Kaisar Saab, you are saying that you are confident the PMLN is in its own, confident of its own power, it is confident of its own clout, its own vote bank as far as Punjab is concerned, of course, and particularly even if we look at the South Punjab. Of course, we're looking at PPP trying to make headway there, more headway there as with regard to, their seats. But do you think that this alliance, is the PMLN, of course, looking closely at this kind of an alliance which may or may not happen, as far as, like Agha Saab is saying, between Jahangir Khan Tareen group and what is happening with the PPP, with people joining there?
Yes, you are right. You see, at present there are two main parties, and even our party, PPP and PMLN, we are in alliance. We have a close association in this government, and at present we cannot particularly mention any scenario. You see, there can be election in which we could have a coalition together, and we could join hands with these parties, and even some people who are joining now are going to meet Jahangir Tareen, because up to now they did not announce the party. So some people can join if there are some positions available, some seats are available in somewhere, and we feel that it is important, and they approach PMLN. They can also join PMLN, but it is an interesting scenario, and next 4 months is a hectic political.
But of course, Kaisar Saab, you have your own people also. You have your own, you have your own ticket holders, and you have your own, MNAs within every area. So, we're talking about that the seat adjustment might be more easy for people who don't have somebody in the field at this time. Isn't that true?
That is you are right in this aspect. You see, situation in Sindh. In Sindh, People Party has no room available. So maybe the PTI people in Sindh, they may join PMLN. We have a position available. We can accommodate. If we contest the People Party and PMLN contest their own individual party election, so there is a very possibility that in other provinces, in Punjab, of course, because PMLN is very strong and we have our own candidates, but in other provinces we don't have our own MNAs. Though the PTI was also having position in other provinces, there is an opportunity that some members from KPK or from Sindh, they can join PMLN also. First of all, they should decide whether they are making or forming their own party with Jahangir Tareen or not. I feel at present it is not so easy, because other parties are established well since very long, and it's not so easy to establish a new party and then to have roots in the people. You see, electable are of course important, particularly in a region starting from Sargodha, Faisalabad and the south of Punjab. This region, of course, big landholders are there, and of course, electable are always important. Everybody knows that. In some areas where it is densely populated, like GT Road, you see it is not as important. Big landlords are not there. So the things are different, and I think in different provinces, some people can go to another party, some to go not. It's not possible that they form a single party and then they have their own, because I feel in the recent future it is not an opportunity to have another new party. It will become difficult to get through.
Let me go to Ali. Ali, there is, like Kaisar Saab is saying, whether that happens or not, as far as we've had the PTI chief say that it doesn't matter to him. We've had statements saying that, as far as he's concerned, even if people leave his party, whoever he awards, whether, of course, we don't know whether a ban will happen or not, or what the fate of what's happened. Of course, we are looking at videos at this time of people of his party. There's petrol bomb videos, there's a lot that has come to the surface. So what happens ultimately we don't know, but in the kind of scenario that we're looking at this time, do you expect there to be, his vote bank still to be intact?
Look, in my opinion, the fact we haven't actually got the pulse of the people on ground, the voters, right? But when you're looking at elected representatives who are part of PTI, if seeing all this, they decided that they're no longer going to be part of a party like PTI and are actually leaving the party. Some are saying we are leaving politics altogether. Some are saying we might join other parties, and they're in talks with the other parties. So this goes to show, because you see, elected representative of a party from a certain area is a people's person. He has the pulse of the people, and I'm pretty sure any patriotic Pakistani who has love for his country will not want to be, party, and would not want to be supporting a party like this. And in my personal experience, people who I've met who were staunch supporters of PTI are now also very concerned and have deep-rooted reservations regarding whatever happened. And so if Mr. Khan thinks, or if the PTI chief thinks he's going to clean sweep and the voters are still with him, then I guess he has a lot to learn. Very soon he'll see that it's not the case. If his party leaders are leaving, then similarly, the voters are also not very happy with him.
Fair enough. Let me come back to you. Agha Sahab, of course, on the one hand, we're looking at this political landscape, which is uncertain at this time. As far as the fate of people who are choosing to leave a certain political party. But on the other hand, as far as the government is concerned, we saw the finance minister speak today also, and he said categorically that there's no threat of default. He said things will take time. It's not going to be an overnight thing. So as far as economy is concerned, there are challenges there at this time that the government is still grappling with. They are still going to be looking at a budget very soon. They are saying, of course, that it's going to be people friendly. But of course, for a government, for any government to be giving a budget, they have to look at the election issue also, certainly. As far as those challenges are concerned, what do you expect as far as the government is concerned?
Challenges are very, very great and very grave. And this would be the you can say the most dangerous election for PMLN in history. I am covering PMLN since 1988, but this is a very, very dangerous phase PML would go, because when PML got this government, they said we are compromising our politics over the state of Pakistan. So this was basically their punchline, and I think they would emphasize this punchline in elections, in their campaigning. But the reality is this, price hike and this turbulent economic situation can give a opportunity to anti-PMLN elements to work against it. And everybody understands this. Everybody understands this in Pakistan. But what is to do? This is an important issue. Pakistan need more than $20 billion in next 9 months. And your elections are just 8 months ago or 7 months ago. So this brunt would be there. Now in this brunt, if PMLN doesn't go with Pakistan People's Party and other like-minded, for example, JUI in KPK and ANP in KPK, seat-to-seat adjustment, if they don't go for that, I fear that could be,
that's going to be crucial.
Exactly, crucial. So I think, as mentioned by Sheikh Saab, he didn't mention directly, but I think PMLN is also considering for seat-to-seat adjustment, in forthcoming elections.
With the PPP?
With PPP, with ANP, with JUI.
The PDM
depending
party.
upon, exactly, depending upon, even outside the PDM. Because this is inevitable for that. In 6 months, they cannot give you wonders. I mean, of course, they are trying their level best, and I believe there would be little.
There's of course sincere effort, and that's been happening. Let me go to Kaisi Saab. Kaisi Saab, there is, we've been talking to you about the economic situation from time to time, and the fact that, of course, the IMF issue, and the fact that we expect it to come through, but it's still awaited. What do you expect as far as the economy now? Do you think things are going to stabilize? Because, of course, we saw Dar Saab speak today also. And he said that, the government is making sincere efforts towards stabilization, and that's likely to happen. We saw the dollar somewhat stabilize, but then, we still have a long way to go there.
You are very right. It is a very long way to go. You know that we made policies which were strengthening the state instead of strengthening our political party. There was a choice. And I think the people are now aware, they realize about it. If I tell you, I explained one point, that whenever the parties talked in favor of Pakistan, like when there was an incident of Benazir Bhutto, a murder, then Mr. Asir Zardari said Pakistan khape. So this became very popular because people understand, and the vote bank was switched over. They did not see other realities. They realized that the People Party is in favor of Pakistan in this, even after that incident. Similarly, when this happened, MQM said anything against Pakistan, it was a very popular party at that time. People did not think about that. And again, you have seen that people are in anger and they are in resentment. Vote bank has been drastically reduced. I tell you, particularly in our area where we see. So because he talked against Pakistan. So this is one significant point that PMLN did emphasize the stability of Pakistan. Of course, the scenario is very difficult. I gave my 20 minutes speech 1 year ago in National Assembly that our economy is at ventilator, and all our doctors, all economists and specialists, they should get together. There should be a charter of economy. It is even more necessary now. One party has no option. Even one party is not, any party is not as popular that they come to power as a majority number of seats. And more important than this is the economic situation. IMF, in spite of efforts, the Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif made a lot of efforts, and he is working very hard, I tell you, with sincerity. But up to now, we could not, even the finance minister, but day before yesterday, we had a standing committee meeting. Dr. Aisha Ghosh mentioned that we have no other option available. There is no any option number B, we should say. It is only one option.
Yes, sir, what do you expect as far as the IMF is concerned? Do you expect it to come through soon?
Yes, we are hoping to that they will, because we accepted all their conditionalities. Of course, there were some rash conditionalities. They asked for us the budget details before this budget, although this was not the condition of 9th review. But we even agreed to that, and I think we did well. All our members in the Standing Committee of Finance, they endorsed. At present, you see our trade balance is quite abnormal, although we have restricted import, but that restriction have made the prices very expensive. Inflation rate is too high, and then there is a shortage of goods. If there is not an import of raw material, then our industries cannot run, and our employment generation can be restricted. We are in problem, but I think it's with consistent efforts and collective.
Is that going to be the real issue, Kaisi Saab? Is that going to be the challenge for the PMLN and the government as far as the elections for the upcoming elections?
It is a challenge, but Maruf, I tell you, I go around my areas and consult to many elected members. You see, people are realizing that they feel that this is not this is the miserable situation was created by PTI, and the promises they made with the IMF that could not be fulfilled, and up to now IMF is not satisfied. Of course, they are not relying on us, because whenever any party or any government commit, they feel that that should be honored. So similar, that lack of confidence is still there, and we are facing problems, but we fulfilled all those conditions. They're trying to satisfy them. Soon, I think, because as I mentioned, that Pakistan, they also have a long relations of dealing with Pakistan. We had been in IMF 22 or 23 times. The longest period we had experience with IMF.
Right.
Things are difficult, but it will, I think it will improve. Gradually, it will take time. It's not in a short period. It will take a longer time.
But there is little time, because like you said, if 4th October is the day of the elections, then their time, of course, is limited. But you're saying people are sympathetic and they realize that there are sincere efforts being made, and that, you know, where the responsibility rests. Let me go to Ali with this. Ali, what is the situation as far as Sindh is concerned, as far as Karachi is concerned, as far as, you know, the electables, so to speak, there? We've also seen some movement there, no?
Absolutely. I think in Karachi, a lot of people who were part of PTI and other parties have actually approached PPP to join. But you see, in Karachi, we actually had a recent local bodies election, and PTI, which was like majority mandate holder in Karachi, failed miserably. PPP came number 1, Jamaat-e-Islami came number 2, MQM had boycotted, so we don't know where MQM would stand, but PTI performed very poorly, and so much so that a lot of their I'm not talking about the national level people, but people who were elected councillors and elected vice chairmen and chairmen are now wanting to join PPP. They're quitting PTI and actually are shifting. And as I was saying earlier, that an MPA and MNA usually has a pulse on his area's people in the public. But when you speak about local bodies, when you're talking about councillors, you're talking about gali, mohalla, like really, really small areas. Those people have the pulse like no one else. Councillors and vice chairmen and the UC Nazims. If those people are also switching and leaving PTI, then that's very alarming for PTI, and I don't think them. I feel in Karachi they don't have a chance.
Fair enough. Let me come back to you. Aghazab, what do you think will ultimately, in your opinion, as a political party, we are seeing, we're seeing it, fragments as far as its people are concerned, fragmentize, if I can use that word, but it's not. What do you think will ultimately happen there, in your opinion?
I mean, I'm very certain this is a transitional phase, as I mentioned earlier. Just months before election, things would be very clear. And as Sheikh Sahab also mentioned, a new political party emergence is not practical, and it will not help anybody. And if you talk about PTI A, B, C, D, it is also not helping, even those who will make it. For example, there are different new names. The only possibility which I understand with my experience is this electable would join bigger parties, People's Party, PMLN here in Punjab, maybe ANP or JUI in KPK. This is the only solution for PTI people who have lost their face to go to person or to people, because Pakistani people are very, very conscious about certain institutions, and whatever happened on 9 May, not a normal Pakistani can go to vote PTI. Of course, the cult member would go, because if you remember, I never accepted PTI as a political party. I always said this is a large cult. So cult followers would remain there, but it's no common, normal silent voter would not go. So where, I mean, where would the vote go then? The vote would go of this disgruntled PTI vote would mostly go to PML and Pakistan People's Party, maybe JUI and ANP in KPK. This is my
What about parties like we already, we have at this time, of course, PMLQ, and we've had, statements from Chaudhry Sarwar, we've also had statements from, Shujaat Hussain, all of, that as far as, of course, whatever happened on May 9th, they've condemned it. There is, do you think that also they will play a role as far as the political landscape is concerned?
No, they had never played role more than 7 seats. No, this will...
so their relevance
3 to 4 seats now.
Is on a very minute level, that relevance.
Yes, there are pockets. And historically, even when the whole Musharraf was behind them, they couldn't go more than 12 seats. And then they, they had, you can say, alliances with other like-minded. PMLQ is not a player which can change things. And even people people have very high opinion about Jahangir Tareen Saab. Even he would not be in a mainstream as a player. Yes, he can have 30 people, 35 people, but 35 people would not change the political scenario of Pakistan.
But we will be looking at, but whatever happens eventually on election day will, we will know whether those seats then become relevant, whatever, whichever way it falls, right? Yeah,
this is also a very important thing. And this is my gut feeling, I may be wrong. In this whole scenario, the, you can say, the gainer is Pakistan People's Party.
Okay, fair enough. Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have. Thank you so much for joining us today. Kaisar Ahmed Sheikh Saab, thank you for being with us. Ali Rashid, thank you for joining us. Agha Iqrar Saab, thank you for your very valuable input. As far as the overall situation is concerned, certainly at this time we don't know where things are headed. But of course, we find a government at this time trying to restore economic certainty at all costs. We've seen the finance minister say that there's no threat of default. He is going to make all effort to ensure that there is economic stability, stabilizing the dollar, strengthening the rupee, giving people relief as far as the new budget is concerned, which they, it seems to be a promise is going to be people friendly. All of those things are on the agenda as far as the government is concerned. On the other hand, of course, there is a lot going on as far as the political circle is concerned, but we will know in the next couple of weeks what happens as far as party positions, political parties, which way people decide to go. All of that today. Thank you so much for joining us today on Perspective.